What's going on YouTube? So of course there are more crossovers on the market than ever to choose from. So one way that you might be able to decide which model to get is which one is the most stylish. And that's one of the strongest characteristics of this 2022 Chevy Blazer. It continues on that stylish path for 2022, and there are even a few upgrades that you might want to hear about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in and see what's new and if this is the stylish midsize two-row crossover for you. So as you probably realized from the number of times I said stylish in describing this Blazer at the intro, this of course is a very good looking crossover vehicle, and that does continue for 2022, especially if you choose the RS trim level. So we have the sportiest version of the Blazer. That's going to give you the most aggressive grille, nice gloss black finish. We also have the smoked chrome that runs through here and the black bow tie. Obviously, you're going to have different finishes for different trim levels, including the Premier, which is going to have more chrome and, of course, look a little bit more upscale. Now, as we move on over here to our headlights, this continues to be a very distinct element of the design for the Blazer. So at the top, you have a LED daytime running light. This is not your headlight. Down here at the bottom, this is where your headlight is going to live. Now, standard on every version of the Blazer is HID headlights. However, we have the optional full LED headlights, which come optional on the RS and the Premier. And then down below that, we also have a turn signal indicator. There are no LED fog lamps. And let's carry on with our wheels. We do have a very nice looking wheel with this RS model. This is actually the standard RS wheel. It is a 20-inch contrast alloy with kind of dark gray inserts and then the silver accents. I really love the way this looks. However, if you want to complete the full stealthy black look that this model is almost completed with, you're gonna need the optional 21-inch alloys. Those are finished in a full gloss black. Of course, the Premier also has 20s and optional 21s. All the others have 18s. Let me also talk about an important 2022 change if you're interested in the Premier trim level. So you notice this specific example, you're gonna have the black trim that goes around on the RS models, no matter which exterior color you choose. However, on the Premier, this was previously body colored, but new for 2022, we now have a darker finish, just to kind of set that one apart, a little bit more upscale looking. As we come up to the mirrors, we do have a lot of features on board. Obviously, all but the base model are going to be heated. They're also going to have blind spot monitoring, excuse me. We also have the turn signal indicator, and your upper end models will have driver's side auto dimming.
Now let's start things off by talking about the length and how the Blazer fits into the Chevy lineup. Of course, this is a little bit larger than the Chevy Equinox, and it competes with the likes of any midsize crossover. So it's coming in at 191.4 inches in overall length. Now, of course, this particular model is fully blacked out, so we have a lot of nice black elements. We have black window surrounds, blacked out door handles, as well as blacked out roof rails up here at the top. Now, let's talk about the rear design. Now, for 2022, nothing has really changed much in terms of the rear design. However, I have to say, I really don't think it needs to. This is a gorgeous looking crossover. It has a lot of design elements from the Camaro, and it really just looks like a Camaro crossover, and I really like it. Now, let's break down some of the individual design elements. We have a big spoiler up here at the top. We have a black bow tie Chevy emblem right there in the middle. Once again, further blacking out this model's design. As far as the taillights are concerned, these also give a nod to the Camaro, of course, in terms of their design. They are going to be LED accented, however, the brake light itself is going to be incandescent, as well as the reverse light. Now, dropping down, we have some RS branding, and then all of this lower area is going to be finished in a nice body color black paint for this model. Now, the rear diffuser itself is going to be more aggressive for the RS, and we're also going to have dual integrated exposed exhaust outlets, which I really like. And as far as the towing is concerned, we're looking at 4,500 pounds for all the models. Now for the Blazer, they're not throwing in all of the safety systems as standard equipment. You will have to go at least to the 2LT, and then that's going to give you the vast majority of them. That will give you forward emergency braking, lane keeping assist, as well as auto high beam headlamps. Then if you go for the RS and Premier trims, you can further option on adaptive cruise control. Now, as far as your warranty is concerned, you're going to have your typical Chevy warranty, 3-year 36,000 mile basic warranty, 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty, and you do also get your first complimentary service visit. Well guys, the blacked out exterior of this Blazer is absolutely sick if you ask me, but we have a really cool interior to show you before we take it out in a spin and see if this is a great value for your family.
So as we walk up to the Blazer, Chevy makes it nice and easy. Every single version will come standard with smart entry as well as remote start built into the fob. And then getting inside, to unlock, just press the silver button. And of course, we still have the really cool Camaro inspired interior on board this year. But let's go ahead and hop inside. So starting with our various interior material and color choices, the L through the 2LT are going to come standard with cloth seating, and then all the rest of the trim levels will come standard with the leather seats you see here. Now of course for RS duty, jet black is your only option, but we do have these special red accents that run through the stitching as well as the piping and the kind of creases of the leather through there, and the leather quality does feel nice as well. Now, if you wanted to go to the most premium option, that's going to be the Premier trim level. That gives you 3 color options: black, gray, or maple sugar. Now, as far as the seats themselves, they're going to be 8-way power adjusting with 2-way lumbar support. And as we move up to the door trim, as you can see, it is going to be covered in leather, including up through this armrest portion and above it, although the top part is going to be hard touch. We have a nice gloss black accent with the RS trim level, and then optional on the RS, standard on the Premier, will be these 2-person memory seats. Down below we have a one-touch auto up and down driver's window, auto down for the other 3. And taking a look around the rest of the cabin materials, Chevy has an interesting blend here. So we do have a leather strip that runs across the top with the nice color contrast stitching. However, the more extreme upper portions are going to be hard touch. Like I said, as we move down, we're going to find more leatherette with more stitching details and the gloss black accents. And then down below, we do have a piece of leather here to rest your knee against. It is going to be hard touch right here, and we have more piano black. Everything does fit together well. And to start it up, you have a standard push button start. And once it fires up, you will be greeted with one of 2 different gauge designs. You have a standard 4.2-inch multifunction display, or if you get the RS or the Premier, you get this upgraded 8-inch reconfigurable display where you can cycle between all types of information, and you can change the design if you want as well. And then as we pull back to the steering wheel, we do have the nice leather wrap steering wheel, which is on the majority of the models. Of course, for RS duty, we got the blacked out Chevy branding, we have the nice chrome accents, and we have red stitching here on the steering wheel itself. Furthermore, power adjustment is going to be standard on just the Premier trim level. However, we do have it optional on this model. And then standard on both the RS and the Premier will be a heated steering wheel. You'll notice that this is just a blank spot on this specific model due to COVID chip shortages. They have deleted the heated steering wheel. So you get a $25 credit for that, and then you have the promise of a later retrofit. Well, let's go ahead and check the interior storage. Got the nice console with the double stitching. And just like in past model years, we have a very generously sized center console here. It goes down quite a ways. There is a rubber lining at the bottom. We also have a 12-volt outlet and 2 USB ports. But nothing's official until we put it to the test. So here we go. Fantastic. Absolutely fits in there perfectly fine. We barely have to bend the coupons at all. Up in front of that, we have a little storage cubby. We've got 2 cup holders. And then furthermore, in the front, we have a nicely sized rubber mat. This is a optional wireless phone charging pad. And then we have our traditional connections above that. And back here at the shifter, we do have a traditional operated style shifter. Nice red RS branding right there. As you can see, you can pull back for drive. You can go into low. You can also shift manually with these little toggles on the side, but there are not any paddle shifters. And then once we head into reverse, you're gonna find a standard high definition backup camera across every version of the Blazer. And then optional on the 3LT and RS trim levels will be this 360-degree camera system. As you can see, nice trajectory, nice overhead view. You can also switch between several other views right through there. And overall, quite nice. You do have an electronic parking brake located off to the other side of the steering wheel. Let's go ahead and talk about the climate setup, because this has always been one of the most interesting elements about this Blazer's cabin. So this really is the root of the Camaro inspiration, because the dual zone climate control setup actually is adjusted by turning the vent itself. So I always found this to be a really cool feature. Red accents, of course, with the RS model. You have your fan speeds and zones all located physically right there, so it's nice and easy. And then I do want to draw your attention to another area. Just like with the heated steering wheel, we have the buttons for 3-stage vented and 3-stage heated seats. As you can see, they don't do anything. That's because due to the chip shortage, those features could not be included at this time. So that is standard on RS and Premier trim levels. You get a $50 credit for these, and that will also be retrofitted once the chip becomes available. Same also goes for the rear seats. Alrighty, and now you know what time it is. It's time to sample the audio system. Happily, we do have the upgraded 8-speaker Bose premium sound system on board with this example. Yeah, so overall, this audio system is poppin'. Sounds really nice, really good bass as well. So I definitely would recommend choosing this upgrade, since the RS does come standard with a 6-speaker sound system. Okay, so let's take a look now at our display. This continues to be 8 inches. It is going to be included on all the models. I like that the housing has this pretty interesting shape, but as far as the display itself, nothing crazy going on. It is a nice high resolution. Most important feature I think to point out is the fact that we have wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. That's what I'm in right now. In terms of the Chevy system itself, it is just their infotainment 3, so it's nice and easy to use. You have the shortcuts along the bottom, and then navigation is optional on the RS and the 3LT, standard on the Premier. Now as we move up, we do have a auto dimming mirror with HomeLink remotes. You also saw me flip that switch. That means we also have the rear camera mirror, so that is a available option with the RS trim level and cuts out all of the back obstructions. There, those are your HomeLink remotes right there. Of course, we do have LED lighting as well. And I'll go ahead and open up the sunshade for this panoramic sunroof. This was a $1,600 option on this RS trim level. It is also available on the 3LT and the Premier.
Alright guys, come on back with me in the Blazer's rear area. You know, this is my part of the video to talk about, and I'm pretty happy to say that this rear area is really quite nice. So as far as the space, let's go ahead and knock that out first. We're looking at 41 inches of rear legroom, 38.6 inches of headroom, but as far as the legroom figure, that is actually going to be larger than the vast majority of its rivals, like the Hyundai Santa Fe, Nissan Murano. I'm 5'9", Drew's 5'8", and this is his seating position. As you can see, we probably have 8 to 10 inches of rear legroom. My feet can easily slide up underneath the seat too, so certainly a lot of comfort. In addition to that, we can recline these seats back to give you a little additional comfort. So really there's a lot of space, a lot of comfort, although the headroom is going to be a little bit smaller than what you get in a lot of the rivals because it does have that really sloped off design for the Blazer. Now, let's talk about the features that they've thrown in. This is a higher end model, so you would expect that we do have some nice features, and we are going to have that. Here in the center, we do have standard rear vents. As you can see, we have some silver trim around them. We have a USB Type A as well as a USB Type C. Besides that, we do have a household style outlet. Then down below this, we have a little storage cubby. You can put a little bit of stuff in there. Then if we fold down the center armrest, you will notice we have cup holders. Inside it is leather wrapped. Then let's turn to the door trim. For the upper part, it is going to be hard touch plastic, which is different from the front. However, we do have a nice leatherette in the middle as well as on the armrest. And in front of the window switch, you will notice that we do have heated rear seats. That's standard on the Premier model, optional on this RS. Obviously, because of the chip shortage, they are turned off on this particular model. Now, walking up to your tailgate, you can get an optional power tailgate. On the vast majority of trims, it is standard on the RS and Premier though, and it does also have foot activation available. So in order to open it, just push the button under the lid or wave your foot under the bumper. And as far as the space is concerned for the Blazer's rear area, it's going to be a little bit less than the vast majority of the competition, but not by a lot. So we're looking at 30.5 cubic feet behind the second row seats. If we expand that out to, with all the seats folded, it's 64.2 cubic feet. So that is actually a good amount of space. I think that will definitely be adequate for the vast majority of families. However, it is still less than Santa Fe as well as Kia Sorento and those competitors right there. Now, in order to fold the seats down, they are 60-40 split, as you can see, and when you do fold them down, they are completely flat with the floor, so that's a nice touch. As far as other features you're going to have, we have LED lighting on the right side. We have a nice carpeting along the floor. If we lift this up, you will notice a spare tire, but there is not any additional storage space underneath of the floor. This being a higher end Blazer does mean that we have the power passenger seat. It is 6-way power adjusting. And then to open the glove box, you're going to notice there's actually not a handle on here, and that's because you push this button. I guess that just gives it a more sleek and cool design, kind of like what you get in like a Camaro. But as far as the space itself is concerned, as you can see, there is a lot of space in here. I'm very impressed with the amount of space they've thrown in. So you can see our coupons fit in there perfectly fine. Up top, we have a sun visor. We have some nice gentle fading in LED illumination, a nice mirror, and we can also detach this visor as well as extend it out. Nice.
Just like that, we're up to 60 miles per hour. This is a pretty quick vehicle, especially when you get the RS. So the RS, one of the nice things about it is that it includes standard General Motors 3.6 liter V6 engine. And that's going to be making 308 horsepower, 270 pound-feet of torque. So this is the fastest engine option in the lineup. There are also 2 other engine options for, arranged over top of the various different trim levels, but this is definitely the fastest one that you can get, for sure.
Yeah, and it matches really well with the RS's design because, as you've heard us talk about this entire review, the RS has a really cool, awesome design. So you really need to throw in that nice, powerful engine, and they have done that for the RS, and I'm very happy to see that.
Another important aspect of the powertrain situation is the transmission. So we have a 9-speed automatic on board. As I was accelerating there and I changed my position on the pedal, the transmission was nice and responsive. We're just in the standard drive mode, of course, like most people will drive around. Yeah, it takes just a little second there, but it finds the right gear. You have plenty of gears to choose from. Obviously, that is also going to enhance your fuel economy as well.
Yeah. Now, as far as your drivetrains are concerned, to put that power down, you will have standard front-wheel drive, optional all-wheel drive, and then as far as your fuel economies are concerned, as you would expect out of the 3 different engines, there are a lot of different fuel economies, so I'll just talk about the specific tester that we have today, the 3.6 liter. That's going to come in at 19, 26, 21 miles per gallon combined, which does place it lower than the other engine options that you can get, but really not as much as you would think. All right, and it's time for us to talk about our ride quality for the Chevy Blazer. Now, as far as the ride quality itself is concerned, this road is extremely rough. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's basically beat to pieces. And it really does a great job of soaking up the bumps, even more so than what I would have expected. This segment of vehicle is typically very smooth in its ride quality, and I think this is one of the top options in the segment. It really soaks up the bumps well. We have the 20-inch wheels. You can actually get a larger size wheel than this, so maybe that's part of the reason this rides so well, but overall, very impressed. And then later on, we will get a test.
Gotta test out the handling.
Yeah.
It's still very comfort oriented, even though this is the RS.
There's some bumps for you, big potholes. It really does a good job. And one thing I'm noticing is that there's not any squeaks or rattles or anything, which, you know, sometimes that can happen. And this really just feels like a solid product. All right, and here you guys go for the sound level. .1 decibels. You know, that's a pretty decent reading. Now, I will point out this road's pretty rough. It's also super windy as the days went on. It's just gotten really windy outside, so that could be playing an effect. I really think it seems quiet inside this cabin. So overall, A+ from us in terms of the ride quality and noise level entering into the cabin.
And I'm watching on the gauge cluster here reminded me to talk about one aspect, and that's the fact that we do have the cylinder deactivation system. So this 6-cylinder can run as a V4 when you're under low load. So like when we were coasting down that hill, I noticed that the little emblem there switched from V6 to V4. Of course, another way that you're going to save a little bit of fuel. And we do have an auto start stop system, but you can turn it on and off with that button.
And alrighty guys, we are in Kentucky and it is time to do our signature airball and slam dunk. Now, I'll keep things pretty simple here. Our slam dunk for today is going to be the exterior design. This thing looks great. It's been out for 3 model years, I want to say at this point, maybe 4. I think it's 3 model years, and it still looks absolutely great on the outside. I love the fully blacked out combination that we have on this particular tester. It looks fantastic. It's probably my favorite thing in the entire segment looks wise. Now, as far as our airball is concerned, though, I will say that the safety systems are a little bit of a disappointment. The vast majority of the segment does throw in all of your safety systems as standard equipment. For 2022, this model really just makes you get the very highest end models to even get stuff like adaptive cruise control. And the high end models are pretty pricey in terms of the cost. So that's something worth noting if you're really dead set on some of the safety systems. Now, like I said, these Blazers can get pretty pricey. So this particular tester is a pretty much fully loaded RS model. We're coming in with the destination charge of $1195 to an as-tested price of $50,120. So you're barely getting over that $50,000 mark, which does make it one of the most expensive offerings in this segment.
But all in all, this 2022 Blazer remains a very well-rounded, very nice-looking option in the 2-row midsize segment. Of course, there is a little bit of a refresh actually coming in 2023, so stay tuned to our channel when we cover that model. But as of for now, I mean, there's absolutely no reason why this is not a fantastic option, because it remains just such a solid offering.
Well guys, that wraps up our in-depth review of the 2022 Chevy Blazer RS. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, please pay us back by hitting that subscribe button down below. It's completely free, and all it's going to do is give you access to a ton more automotive content. We have car reviews ranging really any make and model, so if you're interested in cars at all, you will not want to miss out on subscribing. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram, where we have other forms of car content, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.